The next day, driving south from Rust, we came across a shanty town, which is where a lot of people live, basically with no water or sanitation and nothing more than corrugated iron sheds. Quite a contrast from other parts we drove through, which were clearly quite rich and very western. We saw lots of ostriches, apparently the most stupid animal you can find, and through some amazing scenery, very different from what we've seen, reminiscent of Scotland and the Lake District. We drove over the mountains and stopped a few times to see incredible views. Then the next stop was Mussel Bay, which was totally different, beautiful, quiet, not windy, and very calm water. First of all, we visited a maritime museum which had a replica of a 1400 sailing ship which had sailed all the way down from Lisbon, and shame to see it left in this museum. Then we went outside after that and had a walk around, looking at the beautiful beaches that were there, and it was an extremely popular resort, rammed full of people and campers. An unusual thing we saw was the post office tree, which has been there for about 500 years, and that's where people used to leave post for the next person to pick up. Interestingly, South Africa's postal system has actually completely collapsed, so there is only hand deliveries, emails or couriers. Then we drove, again, it's 4 hours in total on the bus, to Hermanus, to Windsor Hotel, with an incredible view over the seas. Quite windy, but very, very beautiful. On the waterfront, there was an astrophysics exhibition with a lot of very advanced level information about stellar evolution and so on. Then, walking along, there was this fabulous cafe where you could sit and watch the pounding waves, which in fact I did later. I walked around Hermanus, which was a lovely town, but surprising that you just don't see any black people except the ones that are serving. Very affluent, absolutely gorgeous to walk around. Lots of very upmarket shops, and that was the market. And I bought this.
Things in life, all the people we love, the places we've been, and the memories we've made along the way.
Absolutely chilled place, very affluent, lovely shops, lovely art for sale, clothes, you name it, cafes, very, very select. And I saw a whale, but actually it was in the whale museum, which has a complete skeleton inside. But there is, outside the museum, a model of the whales which come up to breed each season here and then go back to feed in the Antarctic. Sadly, the whale watching season had just ended. There was a photography museum and also a harbour museum which had some interesting diving exhibits. Then I went back to the cafe that we saw before and sat there and had a fantastic lunch with a drink and a coffee, and it was only about £5 for the whole lot. But interestingly, it was right by the water, and so you were at risk of being splashed or flooded when the tide came in. Lovely place to spend some time. However, walking around, you were reminded by this shop, the gun shop, of just how dangerous parts of South Africa could be. Then after that, we went back to the hotel, got changed, and then went to this incredible winery. And it was really like something you'd imagine billionaires would be using. Huge, spacious, incredibly upmarket. And we had a wine tasting. I'd have been happy just to sit and chill out in this place. There was even a helicopter landing area, but it made you realise just how this is the most unequal society in the area. And only a few minutes later you saw people living in sheds and shacks with this sort of playground for rich people, though there were some black and coloured people there, so obviously wealth is beginning to trickle down. We were supposed to spend Christmas Day here, but sadly we couldn't. Beautiful artworks, modern art, very tasteful. So that was the end of the day, Christmas Eve.